Holy City Center Radio is episode 314, and I am your host, Christian Sanger. Today is Friday, November 15th, 2024. Hello, everyone. I hope you had a great week and have an awesome weekend ahead. If you need plans, go to holycitycenter.com/calendar to see what is going on in town, not just this weekend, but beyond as well. Happy to be back with you for another episode. This is going to be an easy breezy one, a nice way to ease into the weekend. It's an interview episode, and we're talking barbecue. I mean, come on. You're going to be hungry. That I can promise you. Today's chat is with the owner and operator of Melvin's Barbecue. That's David Bessinger. It was great being able to meet him, granted over the internet, but and be able to chat about his family and the business. I think he said 85 years that his family has had a business related to barbecue. There's been a couple different names over the years. They've sold some of them. But he's talking about the two Melvin's Barbecue locations here in the Charleston area. Sometimes, because they've been around for so long, I think sometimes people forget, when we have all these new barbecue places, that come into town, Rodney Scott, John Lewis, Home Team has been big for, 10, 20 years now. I don't know if they quite hit 20, but in any event, they sometimes, I feel like they get lost in the shuffle because something new, bright and shiny comes in, but they've been doing it, like I said, in some capacity for 85 years and just really good food. I had it for the first time in a while a couple weeks ago. They were nice enough to hook me up with some, a few different, like basically a sampler. It was a lot of food. They definitely went above and beyond, which I appreciated. And everything was so good. Wings, obviously you got your pulled pork. What else they have in those? Onion rings were gigantic. Ribs were in there. It was just, and of course, all the sides. Everything was delicious. So in any event, I'm getting myself hungry again. You're going to love this episode. It was, again, just really good to hear the stories about his family. It's pretty incredible how much his family has shaped barbecue culture here in South Carolina. And you'll see what I'm talking about when he starts talking about, what his father and his grandfather had invented and done throughout the years. And since it is a interview episode, no news updates, but I did just want to say real quick that as of this recording, now I recorded this a little earlier, some of the monkeys still very much on the loose in Yemassee. I think we're down into single digits that are out there, and by the time this comes out, perhaps they've all been recaptured. But there are still, like I said, I think we're down to the single digits, 8 or 9 that are still kind of jumping around out there outside the facility. And also apparently there was an emu on the loose in Horry County. So this weird trend we had in 2024 of wild animals just, roaming free and escaping continues just as nonstop. So I just wanted to put a little note on that because it's just wild that we have all this all these incidents with animals escaping, and we've had a kangaroo, an emu. I feel like there was an ostrich at one point. I don't even remember. It's been crazy. But in any event, no more news. Let's just relax, enjoy this interview with David Bessinger, the owner and operator of Melvin's Barbecue. And joining me now, as promised, is David Bessinger, the owner and operator of Melvin's Barbecue. David, thank you so much for hopping on today. I'm excited to chat with you.
I am too. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. So before we dive into the business and kind of the background and also what you've got going on currently, if you could just let folks know a little bit about yourself, anything you feel like sharing, just so people know a little bit more about you.
Sure. Well, I am a true local native here. I was born and raised in Charleston. I was born in 1959. My dad, Melvin Bessinger, went to the Citadel here in Charleston and graduated in 51. And then in the late 1950s, he decided to come to Charleston, and he opened his first restaurant in 1961. And then we named it. It was named Piggy Park Drive-In. Right. And back in those days, they were the drive-ins were real big. But after that, we decided to open up a restaurant in 1982 that was called Melvin's Barbecue. We named it obviously after my father. And the first one was in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. And then in 1984, we opened one on James Island. and we had two more additional ones, which was in Somerville and in Hilton Head. And so at the age of 10 years old, I started working for my father, learning the ropes of, what I could do back then was obviously only, you know, pour soft drinks and clean the curb girls' trays back in those days as a 10-year-old. But when I got older, started working in the kitchen, learning the how to prep foods, how to cook the foods, and also how to barbecue. And so after college, I decided to come to work with my dad full time and help him open up a restaurant in Mount Pleasant. And for the past 45 years, I've been working at Melvin's. And I guess around 2009, he decided to turn this over to me personally, and I've been running that ever since. And my dad passed away in 2011, so I've been running the show with some great team members and some great managers ever since. I've had one person that is still with me today. Her name's Betty McKinley. She was hired by my dad when she was 18 years old, and she is almost close to 70 now.
Wow.
And still working for me. So I do have some long time employees and managers that have worked for me. I feel like it's a family business here. We only have two restaurants now. We sold the one in Hilton Head and one in Somerville. But we have been serving this mustard-based barbecue sauce. Let me back up a little bit. Ever since 1939, when my grandfather invented the first mustard-based barbecue sauce in the Midlands of South Carolina. But yeah, at any rate, I have to say, Melvin's wouldn't be where it is today without my employees and my managers. They definitely are the backbone to this business.
It's a pretty amazing story. I mean, obviously, this has been your entire life. Yes, growing up, working since 10. That's pretty incredible. And like you said, it certainly sounds like a family business where you have people that work for you for long periods of time. And yeah, it's pretty incredible. And as you mentioned, you're well known for the mustard-based barbecue sauce. And, I've been to the Melvin's on James Island several times. I went a couple weeks ago. Everything was delicious. Outside of the mustard-based barbecue, is there anything else that you think Melvin's is particularly known for? Is there any dishes that people seem to order over and over again, or is it kind of everything?
Well, South Carolina is really the only state that I guess started the barbecue hash over rice, and that's something definitely different from these other regions around South Carolina. It's we're known for that. Our collards and mac and cheese are excellent. Our onion rings are homemade style donut style onion ring. But I have to say, we've always been known to have great burgers, but in 1999, Chef Emeril Lagasse came to our restaurant in Mount Pleasant 2 days in a row and ended up coming out in a magazine saying that we had the best cheeseburger in America.
Oh, wow.
After that, People magazine picked up on that, and we just, it was kind of crazy after that. But yes, he, for some reason, I don't know why he was in Charleston, but we were thankful that he came by and tried our cheeseburgers out. We always were known to have good cheeseburgers in Charleston, but he definitely put us on the map for that.
I was going to say, I
so
bet
you don't think about Melvin's serving burgers. You always think about maybe barbecue, but a lot of people love our burgers.
That must have had a huge uptick in business after that got out in the press.
It sure did. And then, we had some other, like CNN South America picked up on it. Wow. It just kind of went crazy from there on. So, and that's really actually about 50% of my business too is the cheeseburgers.
Wow, that's incredible. I had no idea that it was that popular.
Our pork is great. We just started to experiment with brisket. I could see that coming to Charleston around, I guess, 2005. I could see it coming and started experimenting with that. And I think we serve some pretty good brisket. And, obviously we have some great spare ribs that we serve. chicken wings, half chickens, and turkey.
And
That's been added to the menu.
kind of just mentioned, things that have been added to the menu over the years. In some ways, certain parts of barbecue, I'm sure, like really just don't change, but there are innovations or different versions. How else has the menu evolved over the years?
Well, I my dad invented a red sauce in 1972 because he could see that people were coming to Charleston and wanted something other than the mustard-based sauce. So we did that, and then just around the late 90s, I came out with an all-purpose rub. We brought that to the menu, and just recently, I added vinegar sauce to the menu. I never thought I was going to do that, but still, mustard is king in our business. But trying to, and I've added Alabama white sauce too. That's something very unusual, and that goes on our chickens. So those few sauces have been added to the menu. All the other sides, we've always carried that on our menu board, on our menu, that is.
We've got, obviously, we're in November, got the holidays coming up. What sort of things can people expect from Melvin's, for this holiday season?
Well, we don't really offer the turkey dinners and so forth like a lot of other people do, but we do serve the sweet potato souffle by the half gallon and by the gallon, the mac and cheese, the collards, all our sides, and obviously, we can hook anybody up with pounds of barbecue and pounds of turkey if they need be. But that's about it for this year. I think come next year we're going to start offering whole turkeys.
Oh, very nice. I'm sure a lot of people will be clamoring to get those next year. People seem to really like getting turkeys from barbecue places for the holidays. That's for sure.
They do. We do offer a whole turkey, but it's not. It's like a deli type turkey, and we smoke it, but not the traditional whole turkey like everybody likes to do on Thanksgiving.
Very nice. I also was told that you might have a food truck coming next year. Is that true?
We are coming out with a food trailer. It's already been made for us, and we're waiting to have it wrapped. And then we have to get the Department of Health and the fire department to inspect it, and then we should be able to roll out with this thing come hopefully in February, if not March. And we are looking forward to this.
Yeah, I'm sure the community will be too, if they don't live nearby one of the restaurants or, not that they're very far away from, wherever you live, but you know how people are, they hang out around their home. It'll be great for them to see the food truck and be able to have your food in other places besides, whichever restaurant is closest to them.
Most definitely. It's not going to be the full size menu that we carry in the restaurants, but we will be serving like the pork and the brisket and the burgers.
Is there anything else about the business that I haven't asked you about that you want to share? Any good stories or anything on the horizon besides the food truck? Anything like that going on?
Well, I tell you, I meant to say this in the beginning, and I think this is a great story because this is how my grandfather started off back in the old days, and he traded a cow and a mule plus $50 to buy his first restaurant in Holly Hill.
Oh my gosh.
I always loved that story, and sometimes I forget it. But that's how he evolved. Starting off in the beginning, had 8 brothers he had 8 sons and 3 sisters, and just about all of my aunts and uncles went into the restaurant business. And you know what? They grew up very dirt poor, but they never wanted to be poor again. So they worked hard, and only two of them went to college, but everybody else, they all succeeded in life very well. They worked very hard, long days, long hours, and I think that was that generation. But other than that, my father instilled into me these work ethics and of working hard and long hours, and that's what it takes to run a restaurant nowadays.
Oh, for sure. I mean, obviously you've been in the industry for, many years, and it's tough everywhere, but Charleston can be real tough on restaurants, as I'm sure you know. We see them come and go quite quickly, but you guys have withstood the test of time. And yeah, I'm sure a lot of that has to do with the hard work, like you said, but of course having, a good product, food that people really, really love. And it must be special to be having done this for so long and be successful and have it be, so intimately tied to your family and their history.
Yes, it is. It is tough. Competition is good, and we've been here. We've been in the business the family has for 85 years, and we hope we can continue to, to reach that milestone of 100 years. So I got a son that's thinking about getting in the business with me, and he's 25, and I definitely think, well, he's definitely going to run my food truck. So I'm trying to talk him into taking over one day. But yes, we're not leaving.
Yeah, it seems like a pretty good family business. He should make sure he gets involved more than just a food truck. If he was smart, he'd listen to you and take over.
I know. The only thing is like he likes his weekends off. Like, well, that's not going to happen.
No, not in food and bev, and not if you're running a company. That's for sure.
I know. Oh yeah, most definitely. But other than that, I mean, yes, we we ship our barbecue sauce, across the country, and our rubs we've come out with, and but other than that, it's been a great life, here in Charleston. Charleston's definitely changed a lot, and a lot of barbecue restaurants are here, and which is great. I think we have plenty of room for everybody to serve great barbecue here in Charleston.
Absolutely, and those are the restaurants that seem to hang around for the longest,
Yes.
compared to some of these others. People love barbecue.
They do. It has definitely changed here recently.
So
the better too,
You mentioned that you can ship rubs and sauces and things. So anybody who's interested in that or just learning more about the restaurant, what's the best way to go about that?
They can definitely look online at melvinsbbq.com, or they can give us a call here locally at 843-795-6794, and we'll be able to take their orders. But I think the easiest way would be to go online, and it figures everything up. We're about to come out here in about another week or two with free shipping through the holidays up until January the 1st. So that's always a big plus there. Everybody loves free shipping.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Especially holidays. Saving money any way you can. It definitely appreciated.
Shipping has become more expensive than the product.
It's crazy.
I know a lot of people don't understand it. My sister even says, "Wow, why do I have to pay this much in shipping?" And I'm like, I can't help it. This is what they charge us.
Yeah, exactly. I know it's wild when you think about it, but well worth it if you don't live in the area and need to, get your fix with some Melvin's barbecue sauce or rub. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to me today, David. It was great to learn more about you and the business. I look forward to my next visit. After I was just there a couple weeks ago, I'm already ready to go back.
Well, sounds great. It was a pleasure meeting you as well.
And that'll do it for this edition of Holy City Center Radio. Thank you again to David Bessinger for joining me today. It was a pleasure chatting with him. I hope you all enjoyed the interview, and I'm sure you're hungry like I am. You can head on over to one of the Melvin's locations and pick up some lunch or dinner today or in the very near future. I promise you, you won't be disappointed. Very, very good food. And after you're done eating some Melvin's barbecue, don't forget to go to holycitycenter.com/calendar to find some plans for your evening or throughout the weekend and beyond. Thank you for listening. Thank you to Lindsay Marie Collins with LMC Sound System for producing this and every episode of Holy City Center Radio. And thank you to Tyler Boone, whose music you hear in each and every show. I'll be back with you next week. I can't believe another week is already in the books, but looking forward to chatting with you. Until then, good night and good luck.